Barbara Bush filled our lives with laughter and joy, and in the case of her family, she was our teacher and role model on how to live a life of purpose and meaning.
She taught us volumes about who our neighbors are and how to love them.
Barbara Bush's story has just begun again.
To a First Lady. The Bush family celebrates the life of their matriarch in an uplifting service before a more intimate graveside burial. Good evening to you. I'm Mia Gradney. Len Cannon spent the day at St. Martin's Church. He joins us live now with more on today's funeral. Len?
Hi, Mia. You know, it has been quite a day here. All is quiet right now at St. Martin's. Many of the reporters who came here from around the country are now gone after this church was the focus of the nation the past 2 days. On Friday, of course, a 12-hour visitation for the public, and then today, the incredible, touching, and moving memorial funeral to Barbara Bush, her last moments at this church she attended for 54 years. And Ron Trevino joins us now with a look at some of the moments from today. Ronnie?
Len, it was a beautiful memorial for an extraordinary figure in American history. Invitation only, VIPs to family members to dear friends. A ceremony full of tears and laughter. The funeral may have been private, but it was being televised and millions were watching as Barbara Bush's life was celebrated.
Barbara Bush was the First Lady of the greatest generation.
Presidential historian John Meacham talked about what the Bushes meant to America.
Instinctively generous, Barbara and George Bush put country above party, the common good above political gain, and service to others above the settling of scores.
4 former presidents were here, including the Clintons, Obamas, and First Lady Melania Trump, as they watched Bush family members read from the Bible.
Many women have done excellently, but you surpass them all.
And they told their stories of a strong mother.
You see, our mom was our first and most important teacher. Sit up, look people in the eye, please say please and thank you, do your homework, quit whining and stop complaining, eat your broccoli. Yes, Dad, she said that.
The former Florida governor was full of stories that brought laughter and stories that spoke of Mrs. Bush's unending guidance.
We learned to strive to be genuine and authentic by the best role model in the world. Her authentic plastic pearls, her not culling her hair. By the way, she was beautiful till the day she died.
It was, in the end, the simple service Mrs. Bush had requested, beautiful and moving in its simplicity, as the family left the church for the long ride to Mrs. Bush's final resting place. There were so many other great moments at the memorial today, especially stories they told about how Mrs. Bush and her son George W. always used to rib each other, funny stories. She was also called the secret sauce that held this family together as Houston and America said goodbye. Len?
Yeah, secret sauce. That's a great way to put it, according to Susan Baker, the family friend. Ronnie, thank you so much. 1,500 people were here today. That is a long list of dignitaries, and Grace White looks at some of the familiar faces who came to pay tribute.
What a day. This is where all the invited guests had to arrive at Second Baptist Church. We saw politicians, people from Hollywood, and everyday Houstonians who all told us this is a day they will never forget. From retired astronaut Mark Kelly and his wife, former Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords, the guest list for Barbara Bush's funeral was full of star-studded names.
It was very special, and she's such an iconic woman in our country and means so much to everybody.
From the entertainment industry came the Oak Ridge Boys.
We've had a long relationship with the family. We treasure that.
And family members like Billy Bush.
Ladies, when you go out tonight, wear your pearls. Don't have to be real ones. She wore fake ones. And if you don't have them, sew some ping pong balls together. That's what she did.
Houston celebrities came too, showing their gratitude for a woman who always gave back.
Mrs. Bush always would do anything for us, anything we asked her for the tennis or any other charitable events, and you know, we had to pay our respects to this great First Lady.
But it was famous sportscaster and former KHOU reporter Jim Nance, who spent time with the Bushes at Kennebunkport, who said it best.
It's a perfect goodbye and celebration to one of the great Americans this country will ever know.
When you take a step back and you look at this guest list, people say it's the perfect way to describe the Bushes. They treated all of their friends like family. From Second Baptist Church, I'm Grace White, KHOU 11 News.
It was an incredible day. Grace, thank you so much. You know, for the rest of the country, Barbara Bush was the First Lady. But for so many Houstonians, Mia, she was a neighbor and a friend. All this week, we heard people give encounters with the Bushes, whether it's in a restaurant or at Memorial Park or at the ballpark or at the gas station. It turns out, though Barbara Bush was born in New York City, she was a Texan through and through. What a day. Mia?
It has been quite the day. So much love and respect here in the Lone Star State, and especially here in Houston. Thanks so much, Lynn. You know, folks lined up along highways from Houston to College Station to say their goodbyes. Melissa Correa is at KHOU Field with their reaction to seeing the motorcade. Melissa.
Hey there, Mia. Listen, from excited to nervous, surreal to somber, hundreds of people lined up here in College Station in front of KHOU Field, home of the 12th man. And in the spirit of that tradition, tonight the Bush family is likely comforted in knowing so many people stepped up to have their back. A crowd of strangers connected by a single woman.
We wanted to be as close as possible to her.
The Davises drove in from Houston to say farewell to Barbara Bush.
Made a string of pearls. I don't have a pair, but we made a string to honor her with blue.
A woman known for her class and charisma.
She did a little bit of everything for everyone in Houston.
So Amy Davis will do her part to educate her son Julian.
We actually went to her viewing yesterday. And I caught a little the little flyers they were passing out. I'm going to save for him when he's old enough to understand, and hopefully he'll appreciate it, that he was part of history.
People showed up early and in their Aggie best.
The family has given a lot, and so this is a very small way where we can come back and maybe honor them in some way by being out here.
And in a matter of minutes, with a police escort and a silent street, cell phones captured the goodbye to the woman who loved this community so much.
But what a life, and to see George, I could see him with his face pressed up against the window. You just want to reach out and say, I love you.
You think he felt that in seeing the
I know
crowd?
he had to. He had to. This is his beloved Texas A&M. As you see in our background, home of the 12th man. He's our 12th man, and Barbara has now gone to be with God as his 12th man.
The annual Aggie Muster is tonight. It's when Texas A&M honors all Aggies who have passed within the last year. We confirmed with the university that the family of Barbara Bush has asked that her name be read in next year's roll call so that the Bush family can participate in the annual tradition. Again, that will happen in 2019. Mia?
What a wonderful gesture. Thanks, Melissa. Stephanie Whitfield is also live in College Station, where family gathered for the burial at the George H.W. Bush Presidential Library. Stephanie?
Mia, yeah, this was a perfect end to a really special day of remembrance for Barbara Bush. She had requested that the last part of the funeral be private with just family, but for her, that included her extended Aggie family. That's why when the funeral procession turned onto Barbara Bush Drive this afternoon, the Bushes were greeted by 700 members of the Texas A&M Corps of Cadets, all there standing in the rain voluntarily to pay their respects to a remarkable woman who truly dedicated her life to public service. The internment portion of the funeral service only lasted about 10 minutes. It was very private, with only family and clergy present. But this video from earlier this week shows where she'll be buried next to her daughter Robin, a beautiful gravesite between the Bush Library and Bush School. Now, the library will be closed for the rest of today, but it will reopen tomorrow at noon, and then the gravesite will open to the public on Monday at 9:30 in the morning. Library officials tell us they will continue waiving admission to the library through Tuesday. That way people can come here to pay their respects. Mia?
We're sure there will be many more. Stephanie Whitfield, thank you so much. If you missed any of our coverage today on the procession or funeral of the former First Lady, you can watch them in their entirety on the KHOU 11 Facebook page, and you can also find photo slideshows and much more on KHOU.com. Well, we've seen showers on and off today, all the way from College Station to Houston. Dave, anything severe?
The only thing severe is up near Dallas. Here in southeast Texas, we're not expecting severe. I do expect a couple of thunderstorms overnight tonight, but I think that'll be the worst of it, and it won't be that bad. And so far, Houston actually getting kind of a break. You can see the rain is off to our north and west. A couple of thunderstorms between here and Austin, but Houston, a few sprinkles on the east side, Baytown to Mont Bellevue and Anahuac, Chambers County, Liberty County, getting a little bit of a smattering of light showers there. Winnie getting a sprinkle. Stronger storms out near Brenham, but they're not severe. They may skirt western Washington County here in the next hour or so. Here's what I'm looking at. Overnight, we're going to get some showers, maybe a clap of thunder, but look, it's going to end by sunrise, if not before sunrise, and we may not get a whole lot of rain overnight either. We end up with a lovely, breezy Sunday afternoon. I'll show you the wind forecast. You may want to go fly a kite and have a picnic tomorrow. Back with that in a few minutes.
All right, we'll see you in just a bit, Dave.